Brighton Fire was established in 1888, just a year after the city was established here in Brighton, Colorado. And Brighton is an agricultural community. It's a community of hard work and grit. We have one of the older fire districts in Colorado, and we've evolved over the years. So that's a little bit of the history of how Brighton kind of got started. We were all volunteer, and then we became a combination fire district, and then we've moved to all career.
So we cover approximately 150 square miles within 2 counties, and within those 2 counties, we cover about 5 cities. Populations at 64,000, just over 64,000. Roughly with all encompassed in that district. We have urban, we have suburban, we have rural, so we really have a dynamic thing going on here.
I would say the impact of Brighton Fire on our community is just that we're out there, we're in the community all the time. Myself and my team, we do prevention, so we're constantly working with, especially our at-risk populations. We like to get out and educate them on trends that we see that could be risks in the community, whether it be medical risks or fire risks or accidents. We do a lot just looking at our data for what our risks are and then getting out in the community in those areas and trying to educate the folks.
There's a huge sense of pride. We know now that we can respond to any call that you call into 911, and we're well-versed and have divisions set up to support any of those needs for the response, because we do it all. And EMS is a huge part of what we're being asked to do in the community. If you get called out on a medical call, we can rest assured that you have all the things necessary to be successful. For the community, I can tell you that we've seen an increase in cardiac survival rates. We've seen reduced scene times on trauma calls. We've reduced our response times on calls. And there's just a lot of fun in the firehouse now. So that's a great measure too.
We come out on people's worst day, arguably. And so for a citizen of Brighton to know, even if they don't know them personally, whoever is representing Brighton Fire to provide them with emergency care, they hopefully will already inherently feel a level of trust and comfort, knowing that they're being taken care of by someone who cares about them, even if they don't know them personally.
What really makes Brighton special though is the balance we've created. We have a high expectation for performance. However, we haven't lost the drive and the ability to have fun, joke around, be relaxed with our coworkers, and I think that's extremely important. Sometimes this job's a little bit too serious, and there's a time to be serious, but there's also a time to have some fun.
So we were very fortunate. We received accreditation earlier this year, January of this year. What we were looking for from accreditation was someone other than ourselves to look at us and say, how can we do better? Self-assessment is great, but sometimes an outside review is helpful because you can have a couple of blind spots. And those blind spots, it might be just a perception that you're doing great there, but in reality, you're not making the industry standard. So for us, we use the accreditation process as an opportunity to find ways to improve the organization so that when we deliver service in the community, we're meeting industry standard as far as the fire service goes, hopefully going beyond that and looking for other ways to serve that maybe we hadn't even considered.
It's really just a collaboration with everybody. I only do a small piece of this, but I have people who help us, so it's really a team environment, and we take care of everything together. I mean, it's a family, right? We get along, we disagree, but in the end, we're there to support each other for the success of the district and really to be a beacon for the community.
Well, for me, I love the fact that we are both firefighters and paramedics and EMTs. So we get to do both. And that is the key for me of where I wanted to work and the culture that I wanted to be involved in. And so what I love about Brighton Fire is that what we've become and the time frame that we've done it, I would ask you to find another service that has done what we've done in the last few years.
The succession planning is really important in part because we saw a little bit of a faltering of what it looked like with not having succession. Everybody has desires and opportunity they want to, a role or responsibility they want to take inside the organization. So our goal as an organization is to support that. So one of the things that I look for, how do I leave it? And then I looked through that kind of future state, kind of envisioned that future and looked for what would be really important, which is to make sure that we've got a successor. So what we asked the question was, who's interested in this role next? So with us, we have the authority to bring people in. I can have someone work with me as the fire chief a little bit and say, take on this responsibility. Let me help support you so you have a little bit of experience in that. And then every time I'm learning lessons, I'm sharing those with that individual that has said, I would like to do this next.
I care deeply about Brighton Fire because it reflects everything I value in the fire service, from professionalism, people-first leadership, and pursuit of excellence. I've seen firsthand how the department empowers people and invests in their development.
Our mission is to take care of the people in our community. And our fire chief always stresses that to us, that it's the people. That's what we're here for. And I think that's what all of us have a passion for. You know, we're here to make the quality of life in our community better. That's the reason I came here. I always say that I work for the residents of this community.
People that know, like, and trust one another, there's just a natural gravitation towards, you know, being supportive. And that is really, you know, the end goal here is to curate that level of trust that when we are going out to the public in form of support, there won't be as much hesitation.
In the fire service, this is probably the thing that I would share is subordinate your ego, lead with humility, really love people. And if you don't love people, I would encourage you not to be a fire chief. I love everybody in this organization. I love the community that we serve. And that's part of that passion, I think, really helps your people understand what they're supposed to go do.
I feel proud, motivated, and deeply connected to my career here. I couldn't have asked for a better career. Brighton has given me the space to lead authentically, challenge the status quo a bit, and make a lasting impact. So working for Brighton Fire, it's not just a career, it's a legacy that I'm proud to help build.